The Minnesota Timberwolves, with supposed next face of the NBA, Anthony Edwards, just lost by nearly 30 points to the Nikola Jokic led Nuggets. And honestly, this game was just a beatdown from all angles. It showed that the Nuggets still have what it takes to be championship contenders, and it silenced all the people that said that Minnesota was going to sweep the Nuggets. Because, let's be honest, we all know that that wouldn't happen. Tonight, it was an abysmal performance from every single player on the Timberwolves roster. Anthony Edwards only had 19 points, and he was minus 32 in the 37 minutes that he played. Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert, Jaden McDaniels, and Karl Anthony Towns all combined for 37 points, and they got outscored by Luke Garza. Who the hell is Luke Garza? I mean, I'm sorry, no disrespect, but I don't even know who that is. Meanwhile, on the Nuggets side of things, it was just usual basketball. Jokic dropped 24, 14, 9, 3, and 3, which is basically his usual stat line, on 10 of 18 shooting, but he also had 3 turnovers, which isn't even that great for him. Jamal Murray had 24, 4, and 5, which is a normal day in the office. Michael Porter Jr. also dropped 21, but honestly, this game was mainly dictated by its runs. And what do I mean by run? I mean when a team gets the ball and they make a shot, then the opposing team misses a shot, then they make another shot. And it just goes on and on and on. Because the Nuggets had 3 of these runs, which really just sealed the game. First off, from 10:40 to 6:39 in the second quarter, they went on an 11-2 run, which basically made it so that the game score was 56-41 coming into the second half. Not a good look for the Timberwolves at all. Then, in the third quarter, the Nuggets just went absolutely nuts, outscoring the Timberwolves 37-25, including an absurd 16-5 run, absolutely shutting down their offense for 5 minutes while also playing stellar offense on their end. Then finally in the fourth quarter, the last time that the starters were in for the Timberwolves, the Nuggets outscored the Timberwolves 16-4 over 4 minutes, basically shutting the game down. And honestly, like you just saw on screen with that buzzer beater from Jokic, this game was nuts. It was dominated by the Nuggets in every single way. And everyone that's been saying that, yeah, this is the Timberwolves are the future of the league, they're the best team in the league, they're not. They're just not. Just because Anthony Edwards went on a heater for a few games. Now, I'm not going to try to take everything away because I do still think that the Timberwolves will win the series. But this game just shows that there are cracks in them. There is a way to beat them. And the way to beat them is to cause turnovers. Because the Timberwolves turned it over 14 times today and only rebounded the ball 32 times, which they were massively out-rebounded by the Nuggets, obviously. They just didn't play as well. They weren't aggressive at all, and they just weren't good. In fact, the only place where they were actually aggressive was personal fouls, where they committed 5 more than the Nuggets. However, one thing that does put an asterisk on this performance is the Nuggets' three-point shooting. Because when you're going on the road in a basically do-or-die playoff game, because remember, if they lose this, they go down 3-0. Usually, the three-point shooting won't be too hot. But in tonight's game, the Nuggets shot 14 of 29 from 3, which is 48%. Absolutely ridiculous. And they also attempted 5 less free throws, but made 2 more, which really dictated the tempo of this. Additionally, towards the end of the game, this is a bit of a sad part of it, but there started to become a scuffle between the two benches, and people were given double technicals and ejected. Now, if you remember last year in the first round, the Nuggets and the Timberwolves also played against each other. It was without Rudy Gobert and Cat, so Anthony Edwards was carrying the entire load. You also had Jaden McDaniels there, and in that series, Rudy Gobert and Jaden McDaniels fought. They fought a lot on the bench, and obviously there was a problem with the team chemistry. In fact, in that same game where Anthony Edwards threw the chair onto the wall, as we all remember, Jaden McDaniels also broke his hand. And those chemistry issues right now seem more apparent than ever because they're just unable to put together two possessions. They don't seem in sync with one another, and Anthony Edwards seems to be having to do basically everything for them. It's just not a good look. And I mean, at one point in this game, the Nuggets were leading by 34, while the T-Wolves only led by 2 for about a minute in the first quarter. It was just an ugly, ugly game. I mean, there's not really much to say. There's not much to analyze in this game because of the fact that it wasn't tight at all. Once the Nuggets, sorry, I keep calling them the Thunder for some reason, but once the Nuggets got rolling, they didn't stop. Defensive possession after defensive possession. I mean, look at that. You just literally have Anthony Edwards isoing, doing it all himself. But then, on the other end of things, you just have beautiful basketball from the Nuggets. I mean, yeah, Michael Porter Jr. couldn't really guard Anthony Edwards this game, but they guarded everyone else perfectly. And you know what happens when you guard 14 out of 15 players on a basketball team perfectly? Either that one player drops 60 points and you lose the game, or you win because you only let one player shoot the ball the entire game. I mean, Jokic's flashy assists that turn into alley-oop dunks for Aaron Gordon and just everything else about the Nuggets playstyle really shows why they won the finals last year and why it wasn't the Timberwolves last year, because the Nuggets are just such a superior team. Honestly, considering the Celtics' loss as of yesterday, Thursday, May 9th, it might be prudent to still take the Thunder as your championship. I'm sorry, the Nuggets. Jeez. It might still be prudent to take the Nuggets as your championship winners for the big year of 2024. I mean, just look at Kyle Anderson at that possession. He got the buzzer beater off, but it doesn't mean anything because they're down by 27. It's like that one meme, Chris Paul hits a huge three to cut the lead down to 42. That's exactly what was going on this entire game. And even though the future does look bright for Minnesota, this year is just not theirs. The defense of the Nuggets, their electric offense, and the refinedness of their play is just better than the young Timberwolves. Maybe next season they'll make that finals run. But this might age really badly, but this is just my hot take for today. They won't make the finals, and if they do, they're losing to the Celtics in 5.